Well, hey, JC Kids team, this is Jeff, and hey, I wanted to be able to come up with a video for all of you who couldn't be at our meeting on Saturday to be able to get a flavor of what was going on there. And so we were trying to use some new technology to record that meeting, and it recorded it great. In fact, it recorded it so great that it recorded just an absolutely enormous file. It was like a 32 gig video file, which is completely unworkable. I can't work with it and edit it and share it with you. So I'm going to record some of the content of that meeting, and I'll do it in sections so that each of these videos are going to be maybe 10 minutes long, so that you get a sense of what we as a team talked about. Because I think it's really important for us as a team to all be on the same page. So if you weren't there, bummed you didn't get to drop eggs off a ladder. But after we got done dropping eggs, and asked some team members who were there, they could tell you about that. The first thing that we did was we spent some time simply celebrating the awesome things that God is doing through the JC Kids ministry. So I shared some numbers. Don't glaze over with the numbers. I won't share many of them, but they're really important, and I'll tell you why in just a sec. So first of all, we talk about the number of kids coming. I share with the team that we have averaged over 100 kids. Actually, it's 102 kids each weekend since school started. And that is amazing. We averaged about 85 kids over the last school year. And as school got back into session this year, we're averaging over 100. In fact, some of us had kids coming out our ears this last Sunday. There were 9 kids in the nursery on Sunday. We had so many kids in kids' church at 10 a.m. that we didn't have enough stools for small group time. I'm going to have to order more of those, which is really exciting stuff, I think. And visitors, I'll update this with this Sunday's numbers as well. We've had 176 visitors, just kids. I'm not talking about parents or anything like that, just kids, 176 visitors since January 1st, just in 2019. That's a huge number. 47% of those visitors have returned at least one more time. 37% have returned at least 3 times. About a little more than a quarter of them have come 5 or more times. So we are seeing many more kids on average on a weekend coming. We grew throughout the whole summer, which is just amazing. It's unheard of. Churches will tell you that doesn't happen. It happens here at Journeys Crossing. And we've seen those visitors who are coming returning, and not just returning maybe once, but returning multiple times, becoming a part of what we're doing at Journeys Crossing. And now, if you haven't glazed over too much, let me tell you why that matters. Because those numbers, and I'm a numbers guy, I can look at spreadsheets all day and look at formulas and percentages, and it's really fun and exciting for me. Those numbers represent people, real live people, people that were created by our great God, who are loved by our great God, who our God is desperate to have a relationship with. And that is what we're all about at Journeys Crossing. And so when I see the number of kids coming each week grow and grow and grow, when I see the number of new visitors flooding into our building, and when I see them returning and engaging in life and community at Journeys Crossing, I try not just to look at the numbers and celebrate, but I try to remember that those are real live people, that eternity is different because of what we are doing at JC Kids. And I shared this with the team on Saturday. Here's the reason why we're seeing more kids. And here's the reason why visitors are coming and coming again and returning again and inviting their friends. It's you. It's each member of Journeys Crossing. If kids were coming and not having a good time, visitors would not be returning. If we didn't have the kind of reputation that Journeys Crossing was a place that existed for kids, visitors would not be coming. People are coming here because of the way that you serve, the way that you care for kids. Visitors are returning because of the experiences their kids have had with you. It is incredible. So I want to thank each person watching this video from the bottom of my heart for being a part of the JC Kids team. You rock. You are awesome. And I'm so glad that I get to do this church thing, do this ministry thing alongside each of you. It really is my privilege to serve along with you. The studies continually show that for parents, the experiences that their kids have is the number one determining factor on whether they will stay at a church or leave a church. And essentially it's this. Is it going to be easy to get my kids out of bed to come to church, or is it going to be a struggle? Because if it's going to be a struggle, if I go to my kids in the morning and say, hey, it's time to get up for church, and they go, oh, I don't want to go there, I'm probably not going to go. But if I get my kids up in the morning and they, sorry, there was just a little thing that popped up on my screen. If I get my kids up in the morning and they're excited to go, or if I tell my kids, hey, I don't think we're going this Sunday, and then they say, what? No, we've got to go, then I'm going to keep going to that church. So thank you, each of you, from the bottom of my heart for all the great things that you're doing with kids at Journeys Crossing. I can also share with you that one more number, our team members. We're up to about 70 members on the JCKids team. That's amazing. I started here just a little over 2 years ago. We did not have 70 people serving on this ministry. We had, I think it was somewhere between 20 and 25. The cupboard was bare. There were very few of us doing a whole lot of stuff when I first arrived. If you're one of those people, gosh, you've stuck through it. So that's amazing stuff. And again, we wouldn't see the number of people on our team growing like it was if it wasn't for you, if you weren't welcoming new team members, and if we weren't having fun. I really believe that there's no other team that should have more fun on Sunday morning than the kids team. We should be we should have the lion's share of the fun going on Sunday morning. So that it's exciting that we have 70 team members. We're going to need more. As things continue to grow, we are going to need more people to serve, especially at our later time at 11:30. So if you know someone who is looking for a team to serve on, or maybe they don't think they're looking for for a team, but you know they need a team, send them our way. Invite them to come and serve with you. We would love to have them on the JCKids team. A couple of stories to share as we just continue to celebrate. One was our Mexico missions offering in Kids Church. This summer, Heather Henderson gave the kids a challenge to raise money for the missions trip to San Luis Potosi, Mexico. We certainly are on the board of directors of an orphanage there in San Luis Potosi. We send missionaries there all the time, short-term missions trips. And one of the things they wanted to do this summer was to purchase shoes and backpacks for the kids. And they said, we need about $150 to do that. And the challenge for Kids Church to raise that money, to let the kids participate on this missions trip. I honestly was really nervous about that number. I didn't want to throw out a number that the kids weren't going to reach. I didn't want the kids to fail in this challenge. And I knew if push came to shove that me and the rest of the team were probably going to sit down and say, okay, let's open up our wallets and inch the kids over this line. The kids raised $380. We gave them a goal of $150. They raised $380. That is astounding. It reminded me of maybe my lack of faith sometimes. I tend to look at things real practically, and I sometimes don't have faith that big things are going to happen. And big things happened. The kids got into it. It was amazing. We were able to send $380 there with those missionaries, with this short-term missions team, in order to buy school supplies for kids. And we bought shoes and backpacks and much more, because the kids were so faithful in giving. So I think that is absolutely something to celebrate. And we continue now with an Operation Christmas Child, an opportunity for kids to give as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing big things with that too. And then I just shared some stories about some kids, and I didn't include their names. As we begin to share this, I didn't know if parents would always be comfortable with their names, but I can tell you that we've got a 5th grade boy. He's been coming for the last 2 months, and his mom and I have talked a whole bunch. And one of the things she shared with me is he just can't wait to come to church. He's a 5th. I just want to emphasize this. He's a 5th grade boy. 5th grade boys can't wait to do anything except not be agreeable and play some video games and not talk a whole lot to you. That's kind of their MO. This fifth grader looks forward all week long to coming to kids church. In fact, he gets up at 6:30 on Sunday morning just to get ready to come to kids church. His mom said, I can't get him out of bed to go to school. But on Sunday, he's up by himself, ready to go. He's so excited to come to kids church. That is absolutely something that we should be celebrating. We've got a fourth grade girl. Her parents live in Anne Arundel County. They come online. They attend our online campus most of the time. It's a pretty long trek in. But their fourth grader is constantly saying, when can I go back to Journey's Crossing? And they come as often as they can, just so their fourth grader can experience the community and experience kids church here at Journey's Crossing. That's pretty amazing. I talked to the parent of a pretty new attender as well. She's got a 3-year-old. I think he's 3, 2 or 3. I think he's 3 though. A 3-year-old son who is constantly asking, can he go to Journey's Crossing during the week? She's had to drive him past the building during the week to prove to him that there is nobody there, that there's no preschool ministry going on, that he would be all alone in the building, because he gets it in his head that I want to go. It's so fun. I want to go. What do you mean there's no one there? Of course there's people there. That's awesome. I mean, these are kids asking to go to church. Most kids I know, the only thing they ask is, can they watch something on Netflix? Can they do something on a phone? They're begging to go to church. Elementary school kids, preschool kids. Goodness, that is stuff to celebrate. Our Spotify list, I get reports from parents all the time that their kids are asking to play the songs that they hear on Sunday mornings while they're doing homework, while they're cleaning, while they're doing whatever. That is great. Our nursery team on Saturday, Diane shared, Teresa Curran shared things happening with kids recognizing them outside in the hallway, kids throwing fits about being in there until they see the worker that they recognize and then chilling out right away. There's great things happening in our nursery as well. In fact, one of the things that I mentioned after Diane shared and after Teresa shared is probably every one of us have at least one story that we could share if we were all in a room together about something that we could celebrate, that we saw happening on a Sunday morning, or maybe during the week when we run into a kid at a store or whatever it is. Almost every one of us has some story that we could share that we would all get to celebrate. In fact, that's one thing I mentioned Saturday I would love for you to do. After Diane shared, I said, man, everyone, if you've got a story to share, just shoot me a note. Shoot me a note on Facebook, shoot me a note on my email, and share it, because I want to share this with the team. I want us to be a team that celebrates the good things that are happening all the time. I mentioned, someone like a Darren Brown who does a getting ready for baptism class. Someone like Barb who's in Next and is hearing people's stories. They get to hear all the time these amazing stories of transformation. People who have found Jesus for the first time in their life, who have come back to him after walking away for a long time. People who have been addicted. People who have been walking lives that are not anywhere close to where God would want. And then you see these 180s in their life. And they get to experience these incredible stories from people. We don't get that a lot in kids' church. Kids are not having these radical transformations. They've not been walking away from the Lord for 20 years. They're not even 20 years old, right? So sometimes we don't get some of the incredible stories that you might hear, that Darren might hear, that Barb might hear, even that Scott might hear in youth ministry. But we've got our own stories, and they are equally as good and equally proof that God is doing amazing things here at Journey's Crossing. And so that was the first part of our meeting. I'll stop the video here, and I'm going to make some of these throughout the next 7 to 10 days and release them to you. But I hope that you really enjoyed hearing these stories of celebration, some of the numbers that we celebrate, new kids coming, more kids coming. These are really great things. And I hope that you spend just a little bit of time after hearing all of this, thanking God. Just spend a couple minutes in prayer, thanking him for how good he's been. I said that they're coming because of you, and that's totally true. But the other part of that reality is they're coming because God sent them, and they were faithful to come. And then we were faithful to do our part of it once they got in the door. So thank you, but spend some time thanking God because these are great, great things happening. We are part of something so much bigger than ourselves. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to make one of these in a couple days. The next thing we talked about is what our mission is, which is also really excited. I might even be more excited to talk about that than the celebration here. So I hope you get a chance to, obviously, if you've watched this, you've gotten a chance to watch it, but I hope you enjoyed hearing these stories. I'll talk to you later in a couple days. Bye-bye, guys.